All right, we're live now. Hello for anyone watching this in the future. This is a game arranged through the Gauntlet, which is a community on the internet that gets together to play cool story games, role-playing games, all that fun stuff. Um, oh, sorry, I just got a message on another channel. Close that tab. Um, this game we're playing is part of a monthly series that I'm doing. Hi, my name's Andrew Pondok. I use he him pronouns. We're this series is called Mecha Monthly. We're going through like in development Mecha tabletop role playing games, and the one we're playing is called Armour Astir, written by Briar Sovereign or at Were Gazelle on Twitter. It's like a werewolf but a gazelle. Um, and yeah, this is the last part of this month's series, and yeah, we'll see where we we'll see where we kind of end up. So let's kind of get to know like our two players who have been here all this time. Thanks very much, guys. Um, Start with yourself. Just introduce yourself, like names and pronouns and all that fun jazz. Start with yourself, Robert.
Hi, I'm Rob. I use he, him pronouns. Uh, Not much else to say about me.
Oh, no worries. And Zach.
Hi everyone, my name is Zach. I use he, him pronouns, and yeah, I like to play games, so that's what I have to say.
That's completely fine. So before we kind of jump into the game proper, I just want to talk about safety tools as always. Just want to play in just a nice, safe environment. So as one of the safety tools we use is lines and veils. I remind my players they're in the L and V tab, which hopefully stands out in the ridiculous number of tabs there's there in the character keeper. Basically, lines are things that won't happen in the fiction. Not they're not even gonna be like a loot. We're not just not gonna deal with it. Veils are things that can happen in fiction, but will happen off screen. Like it'll happen, but we're not gonna concentrate on it. You know, we'll throw veil. We'll say it happened and it happened. We also use the X card, which basically, if we summon to a scene that's makes someone uncomfortable for any reason whatsoever. You can say you want to X card that, you want to make the X sign, or on the chat, you want to say that, and we will roll back. I may ask some questions on what's being X carded, but no one gets to question why the card is being played. If it's played, we'll respect that, and we'll roll back and try something else. And finally, we have an open door policy, which basically means that at any time, for whatever reason, if folks need to step away, um, and whether there's an emergency or you need to take a break, or you just weren't up to it, you can feel if you're free to call that at any time. All right, so back into our weird medieval fantasy world of giant robots and witches and um, kingdoms and WMDs and magic and whatnot. So just to like recap again what Armour Astir is, it's a mecha, it's a par-based apocalypse mecha warfare game. Kind of takes a lot of inspiration from Visions of Escaflowne, Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam, I think. And yeah, it's definitely more on the fantastical side, but it is still primarily about war and giant robots. You play the cause, or whatever the name of your cause is, which is a rebellious force against a terrible authority here in our game, represented by the Princess of Palladium. And there are two kinds of like playbooks. There's the channelers, the people who go on the mechs, which are the Astirs, and there's the support roles, the soldiers who provide logistics and whatnot. Let's get to know our two player characters here. Start with the order of the character keeper. Zach, tell us a bit about our scout.
Alright, so I've been playing Kanar, who is our scout. They use they them pronouns. I guess the ideals that they have are teamwork makes the dream work, solidarity with the downtrodden, and humiliate the authority. So they're all about this kind of like idealism of like, like fighting for people who have been kind of like the subject of the oppression of the authority. And then all about stealth combat, I guess, and kind of doing ground support. I guess the last couple sessions, what they've been doing is kind of tricking the Astirs and like wrecking themselves and maybe planning some explosives and stuff. They come from a nomadic tribe called the Wayfinders, and I think a lot of folks from the Wayfinders are committed to the war because the princes of Palladium are kind of like encroaching in their kind of like the land, like the commons, and that's why they're fighting back in order to open up more space for everyone else. So yep, I guess that's my character, Kanara the Scout.
Lovely person. Oh yeah, make sure to clear all your risk because we're out of a sortie. Unfortunately for our next character, you still have a peril. Speaking of that character, Rob, tell us about our witch.
Hi. So I'm playing Lyra Harker, who is her ideals are we should not allow the war to make us as cruel as the princes. I will use this power to protect the innocents of this war, and I will not allow Nyarl to corrupt me. Nyarl being this sort of aspect of chaos itself that Lyra has through her own poor life choices found herself bound to in a sort of contract. And think of she as you mentioned, Leandro, she currently has the peril that she has got the Prince of Joy's attention because apparently he has some sort of problem with me. I don't know, maybe it's the whole being a servant of chaos thing. I don't know.
Maybe, just maybe. Yeah, so just a quick run through of what happened last session. So you all got to do downtime. There is a downtime and sortie phase to this game that picked up some. Well, you had a heart to heart. Kanar had a project trying to figure out the Prince of Joy special mech, or not much progress there. Lyra caught the attention and the ire of was seemingly just a conscripted soldier in the cause, a woman named Arya Kingdom. Doesn't like witches. Then you got the sortie. Turns out, oh wait, no, she's like a queen of this kingdom, and the sortie was to get her back to her throne, save it from the princes. Managed to do that. You defeated an enemy ace in the process, which was cool, and you got Arya back to your castle, where she managed to back off the prince's forces using a device she called Heartrender, which Kanar, you managed to figure out through like remembering through like your scouting, is that it's a weapon that, as it says, attacks the heart, as in it creates this magic pulse that weakens and kind of destroys hearts. And what you knew is that the weapon is not calibrated yet. So if she had gone through with her threat, it wouldn't have just caught the Palladium's forces. It would have caught everyone around the castle. So you knew that. But you're back at your ship, your carrier, the Twilight Spark. Surprisingly enough, Arya came back with you. And she kind of explains it as like, she left like a regent behind, and she kind of explains it like, well, I did pledge myself to the cause. It would be poor faith for me to just go back on my conscription. So over there, I'm the queen elect, but over at the Twilight Spark, I'm just your comrade in arms. It gives y'all like a smile as if like she doesn't know what you know, or maybe she does. Or maybe she doesn't. I don't know. All right, so you're back at the Twilight Spark. You're back in downtime. Things are a bit not tense, but like there's an atmosphere of like, hey, we kind of got the queen of what's the name of that little country, Zenobia. This just tells me that I watched a lot of the Princess Diaries when I was young. Yeah, so they've got the Queen of Zenobia with you with this awesome new weapon, apparently. And so the mood in the Twilight Spark is like a bit elated. And even like your debrief is short. Like the Captain Cecilia Chance just like waves us and like, okay, you've earned a bit of a forlu. I don't think there will be much standing orders for the moment. Fine work there, soldiers. So, and I think, yeah, she's just kind of like leave you off for now. So you've got downtime. So downtime works there. You've got 2 actions you can do. So I'll give you some time to think about what you do. Oh, what you got, Kanar?
I think Kanar is also. I think they're trying to go for what they failed last time, which is they're going to work on a project to learn more about the prototype that we all encountered in the first session.
All right. So let's see. The prototype, the Prince of Joy, that was destroyed. So yeah. How does this look like? This trying to learn about this prototype. What do we see on the screen?
So, you see Kanar probably in their room, writing letters and correspondence to other wayfinders down the ground, to see if they encounter anything that Kanar would describe as glowing materials that make you fatigued and sleepy around the land. And so maybe you see Kanar writing those letters and kind of just having like bird messengers from the ship out, like maybe that you could see them with like 5 of like different birds just sort of like scattered throughout the land and see if there's anything you could find, if they could find anything.
All right, roll plus no.
Seven.
Oh, cool. All right. So on a 7 to 9, you know what? It says here fill 1 empty segment. Since we're only here for like 1 session, I'm gonna say 2. I'm gonna say you fill in 2. Yeah. I'll say you fill in. Actually, no. I'll say you fill in 3. Although let's be generous. We're only here for the 1 session. So I think what you hear from your contacts down on the ground from the birds is that, yeah, they find that the Prince of Joy is his network is kind of extended. There are like more other like villages that are being cleared out because clearly this is like a project he doesn't want many people to know, and you'll get a sense of like where all these other like black sites, so to speak, are, as to where these mechs are being created. You still have like not a fair clue of like, you don't have a decent clue of like what they are or why they make people sleepy, but you have a fairly good like idea of where some of them are, which that might come in handy for a B plot later. Who knows? Lyra, what are you up to while Kanar is doing their scouting thing?
So I'm not entirely sure what this would come under as a downtime action, but Lyra isn't feeling very happy about the way some things went in the last the last mission.
Mhm.
So she is having an argument in her quarters with so anybody who's looking at herself, and it's like, you didn't have to do that. You could have killed her.
Oh, so are you talking to? Is tell me again who are you talking to? Just anyone?
Nyarl.
Oh, Nyarl. Okay. It sounds like yeah. What does this sound like? So you're just talking to Nyarl. We'll figure out like what the move is. It probably is gonna be like talk it out. So repeat again what you said.
You didn't have to do that. You could have killed her.
Well, then what would you want me to do, Acolyte?
Take her out, but don't crush her. Don't just twist her into bits.
In my eyes, and in the eyes of presumably your commanding officers, your fellow soldiers, your ward there, that prim queen who looks at you with fear and disgust in all their eyes, they would have seen the Sable Scythe as an enemy combatant who, let me remind you, attacked you first. Is this what you call this? Is this concern, given that the Sable Scythe is you're not even halfway towards your age? Is this compassion you're talking about here, Lyra Harker?
Well, yes, but I don't suppose you would know anything about that, would you?
Au contraire, Lyra Harker, I am nothing but passion. I am nothing but whimsy and power and how it can be flexed and extended in a myriad directions. That's what chaos is, Lyra Harker. And as it stands, chaos cares not whether it crushes a 13-year-old soldier or some aged general. All it does is crush. And in that scenario, in that scene where I so willingly came to your help, you needed an enemy crushing. That's what I did. Oh, come now, Lyra. Is this what is this now? Regret for placing yourself with me?
I didn't place myself with you. You planted yourself inside me.
Okay, I think this is talk it out. Roll plus talk. Because I think there's a way. There's something Nyarl can do for you. One of those for sure. Depending on what you want to do, but yeah, roll plus talk.
Oh dear.
What's up?
No, I've got a negative to that roll.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a 2.
Oh my god. All right, let me see. Oh, okay. All right, hold on. Let me just delete the boons you have actually, because you don't get those anymore. It's been a day. I think what this looks like is as soon as you kind of say that, you feel your veins catch on fire and kind of force you to your knees as Nyarl kind of says, exactly. Exactly. As far as I'm concerned, Lyra Harker, you are indeed just a vessel. You are indeed just a means for my continued survival. But that doesn't mean that I'm selfish. That doesn't mean that I am not willing to do something for you. I believe in exchange. I believe in lending my fire to your cause. But if you're going to be this impertinent, then I'll have to keep a closer eye on you, Lyra Harker. And what's going to happen is he's going to take tree influence over you. And he can use that influence anytime he wants to make you do things. Like, he can... Yeah. All right, there we go. So I'll just note that down. He has tree influence over you. Do you have anything to say to this while this is happening?
I may be your vessel, but you are my guest.
I think as you're resisting, you feel the fire ebb in your veins, but you're not sure if that's you or just him unclenching a bit. And you kind of feel his presence kind of like retreat for a moment. You have yourself to yourself again. All right. Kanar, it's your other action. Well, that's happening. You can totally do the same action twice if you want to. Oh, yeah, as a reminder, Lyra, while your patron has influence over you, she has 3, your channel goes up to 3. So, like, if you get boons, that means, use channel instead of this stat. I definitely recommend, like, think about using that while he has influence. No, anything at the moment, Knark. You want if I switch back to Lyra, or?
Sorry, I didn't. You were breaking up for a second, so I missed.
Oh, okay.
I guess I missed what that you.
Oh, I was asking what's your second action is.
Okay. I think Kamar needs to know more, so they could go on that B plot.
Oh, we're still in downtime. B plot happens during the sortie.
So I think hopefully I think they're gonna do more kind of project.
Okay.
So they could fill up the clock.
Okay. All right. That'll make probably like the B plot easier for you if there's more,
Yeah.
All right. So
yeah. So they would know what they're going for.
All right.
At least have a better idea.
Okay. Roll plus no. Ooh.
12.
Yeah. So that fills up your clock. All right. Okay. So you, through your contacts and your judicious use of birds and knowledge of your tribe and their scouting, you pinpoint exactly like the research facility the Prince of Joy uses to build, to like experiment on this mech, and you get an inkling of what the mech is. Basically, you know how there's so much heavy magic concentrated when you first saw it, but what they were trying to do with that place was create something that can hold magic that can just be put in the mech. So you don't need a channeler who can channel magic to use the mech. Instead, they're creating like batteries so that anyone can use a mech. Like even you, someone who doesn't have magic. Because as it stands in this setting, only people who only channelers can use Astirs. But this project would democratize it for anyone. So,
Okay.
all right. So you know exactly like where the main research facility of this is.
Sure. All right. Cool.
Okay. So Lyra, what's your second action? Also, if you can't think of like a specific action, feel free to like if you want to suggest like just scenes you want, even just between the two of you.
So, I think Lyra, maybe feeling a bit shaken after that scene, is gonna go and seek out, well, probably Kanar, to be honest, because Kanar's the one she's had the most interaction with outside of the Astir.
All right. So what does the scene look like?
So what's Kanar doing when Lyra? Would you still be doing your research?
Yeah, I think you can find Kanar in their room with the newly acquired map that they got from their correspondence down below. You see them kind of poring over the map, looking at different entrances towards the facility, and you can see them writing notes and doing stuff there, just on this like kind of big table.
Okay, so I think Lyra doesn't want to interrupt right away because you're like seem really involved in that, but she like you get this the sensation of like somebody over your shoulder, and like just sort of leaning over to look at what you're doing.
Kanar turns their head back towards you, Lyra. Yes, Lyra. Sorry.
Sorry. I didn't want to disturb you, but
No, it's okay. I think I know what I'd be doing. I figured it out. I figured it all out, Lyra. But what's wrong with you? You look very disheveled. Is there something wrong?
Remember when you were talking to me before?
Yes.
I lied
About your
he's
patron?
not my partner.
He's not your partner. What is he then?
Parasite? I don't. How would you say? I was angry at him, and he just made our positions clear. He can cause me pain whenever he likes.
This this partner of yours, what is he getting out of this? What is he getting out of your relationship with him?
I don't know. He needs a vessel, is what you said. He needs me to enact his will.
And what do you get out of this relationship?
Well, get to do, I get to use the powers that he gives me, but
This doesn't sound good, Lyra. It sounds like he has full control over you, and you don't want that. We're already fighting the Princes of Palladium, who has control over almost full control of the land, and you're also fighting with this entity who's starting to take full control of you. This can't be good for you and for the cause. Ooh, I think Robert's.
Robert? Yeah, he might be. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Caught, yeah, you just wouldn't like that to happen. Caught in the middle of an emotional conversation. Like,
It's always happens when you're in the kind
yeah, never when it's just banter. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
give him a few minutes while I stat up an enemy. Yeah, lots of armor, sure.
How's the weather over there?
I wish it'd make up its mind. like 2 days ago, it was like, all right, it's summertime, time for summer jackets. It's all gonna be great. Then, so yeah, yesterday that was my thinking as well. It's like, all right, summer jackets. I'm going out. I'll buy some books. It'll be a great time. Terrible winter wind came in, rain came in, and it's just now it's a sludgy. Well, it's Ireland. It is what it is.
Is it pouring? Is it gloom that we know about Ireland?
Yeah, it's not pouring right now. It's just dreary, like dark clouds. Everything has this gray filter. It's
Right.
like when you're in the right mood, I'm sure it's fine.
Sure.
As in, like, oh yeah, it's a gloomy Irish feel, but sometimes it's just a bit frustrating.
Yeah. It's similar over here too, because I live in the northwest of the United States, and 9 months out of the whole year is gloom and rain. And
Yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah. Well, we survived. I was just looking through like the armory page in the dock, and there's a new Astir type called a Tarask, which I think that's a D&D monster. A Tarask, giant T-Rex.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So less humanoid, more like Zoids.
Yeah. Apparently, just has claws or something. Oh shit. There's some new stuff. Okay, all right. There's some new stuff added apparently. So this game has already changed since we started running this. Okay, we don't. I mean, you don't have to care about that. Not right now. Oh, there's Robert.
Hello?
Hello, welcome back.
My,
No worries.
my,
No worries.
my Wi-Fi hub died.
It happens.
It happens.
So yeah, where did I cut off?
I guess Kanar was saying that yet it's bad enough that the Princess of Palladium is taking control of the land, and to add that to have this entity to take over, it's taking over you, Lyra. Sounds like you're fighting two different wars here. And I worry that it's going to affect your role and your contribution to the cause.
Yeah, before you say anything, actually, Lara, I need you to roll. I think this is also a talk it out. I don't know what else could this be.
Well, so that's a 6.
Is that okay? All right. I'll save the consequence for later. In the meantime, just keep talking. Sorry about that.
I thought I could control it. I thought I could use this power to help the cause, but I don't know what to do now.
Is there a way that you could teach him or you can get you away and fight him? The way from what you've told me, it sounds like it's only gonna get worse.
I don't know. I know very little about the shard. Just that it wasn't supposed to fall into the wrong hands, or like the pristine. I was supposed to keep it safe.
I just don't want you to be a risk for everybody else, Lyra. I do care about you, and but I also do care about the people who are in this cause, and it looks like you're being more of a risk. I would like to, but at the same time,
Lyra runs out of the room.
Roll plus volatile to run away. Sorry, monster arts joke there. Funny enough, I kind of, as you run, I think the both of you later in the day. What does Kanar do after Lyra runs?
They're going to talk to who's the commander of the CEO?
Yeah, Captain Cecilia.
Captain Cecilia. I think.
Sorry, you broke up there a bit, Zach. What did you say?
I'm gonna talk to Captain Cecilia about Lyra. I'm gonna let Lyra out. How about that?
Before we get to that, Lyra, where did you run off to?
I think Lyra ran off, and like she can't. I can't use a downtime action to do this, but she's gonna like start reading through her, what little pieces of research she still has from her former mentor.
That sounds like a basic move. That's a dispel uncertainties, I think.
Okay.
That is roll plus no.
Oh, I'm actually good at that. That is a 12.
Whew. Director will tell you something directly useful. Directly. You know about the situation or subject at hand. Okay. While I think about that, let's go to Kanar's meeting with Captain Chance first. They meet her at the bridge, which I've described as looking like a pirate ship's captain's cabin. I think there's a window looking out into the sky. There's a big round table with a cloth map on it. And I think you're admitted in fairly quickly, Kanar. And Captain Chance is looking through the map, looks up and says, "Oh, Kanar, to what do I owe the pleasure of this visit?"
I have something very important to tell you, and it concerns the safety of the cause, Captain.
Well, the safety of the cause is my foremost concern. Tell me which faction, which group, which person is the weak link this time?
I'm afraid it's from within. And that, to me, is very alarming. And I am speaking about our very own Lyra Harker.
Lyra Harker. She kind of makes some gestures in the map, and it brings up this. It's like smoke and dust. Kind of brings up this like what in sci-fi terms would be like a holographic shape of Lyra's face, and says, "Well, you do not need to elaborate further on exactly what kind of security risk she would cause. Her and her stowaway crystal has been on our radar a few times, but has anything happened that has caught your attention, Kanar?"
I'm afraid things have gotten worse between her and her patron, which I don't know if you're aware of that, of him.
I'm aware of Nyarl. I make it my point to be aware of everything on this ship.
Well, it seems like Nyarl has taken more of control of her as his vessel. And I worry that it will affect her in which it will return to affect the cause. It is hard enough to fight against the influence of the Palladium, the Prince of the Palladium, but to fight against something that is beyond our control beyond our understanding of this entity is something that we don't need to risk ourselves in. So
Quite. She brushes away the Lyra face that pops up and looks you in the eye and says, well, according to our reports, you've had the most dealings with our channeler, Lyra Harker, and you've fought with her in the field. You've saved her life, and she has done so as well. In your opinion, Kanar, does Lyra stand a chance against this demon? Because to be frank, Kanar, of any of our allies, of our factions that could sunder the cause from within, she wouldn't be in my highest priorities. Unless you can convince me otherwise.
it is tough to say, Captain. Lyra does exhibit a lot of restrained power. But I do believe that she could overcome a lot of the adversities that she's faced. But that's before I found out how strong Nyarl is, and quite frankly, I'm not so sure if she could overcome his control over her.
Well, she may not have a choice anytime soon. And she pulls out like what looks like just like a stick, but you can tell like it's embossed. It's like a wand almost, but there's like writing all over it. And she says, "This just came true for us from a mercenary group that just recently joined up for the cause. They're called Astor's Hills. They usually keep an eye out for contract work around, and they picked up this little tidbit just recently." And she waves the wand, and a voice speaks out. The voice is someone. I think Lyra has heard this voice in the first session, and it's yeah, you're right, Robert. I see. Yeah. You know what I'm referring to. This is my personal bullshit. And yeah, this voice rings out. Thanks. Yeah, now you lost my train. I lost my train of thought. Thanks, Rob. Okay, no. So the voice comes out and it says like, this is the Prince of Joy, seeking out one Lyra Harker, current devotee to the demon of chaos known as Nyarl. This is a direct message to Lyra Harker wherever she may hear this. You may find that your patron is becoming overbearing. Fortunately, there is a way to remedy your affliction. Fortunately, that remedy rests within my power. But let it not be known that the princes of Palladium are not generous. So we offer you this remedy. If you would come to meet with myself and just myself over at the Ashen Gorge, I say that I bind myself to all oaths of trust. Ensure that it will be a meeting simply between myself, the Prince of Joy, and Kangren's apprentice, current bearer of Nyarl, Lyra Harker. And the message ends. And Cecilia looks at you, Kanar, and says, "Now you know fully well that I do not intend to throw Lyra Harker into whatever trap the Prince of Joy has ready for her. But I'm also aware that you yourself had made some breakthroughs regarding the Prince of Joy's work. Like I said, I try to make sure that I know everything that comes through this ship."
I do, Captain. It looks like I've discovered through, by the help of my networks of wayfinders down on the ground, a facility that produces magic, in which that magic allows for Astirs to be piloted by non-channelers, and I am planning to discover more and maybe even learn about that magic, and keep it away from the Palladium's hands.
Well, this sounds like a rare opportunity to exploit that knowledge. Then Kanar, the Prince of Joy, seems fixated on Lyra Harker, and the implications of what he's doing, as you said, would be catastrophic for the cause. So here's what myself and the heads have been thinking. And she lays out kind of like the next sortie, like the next operation. She is going to command Lyra to accept this meeting and basically keep the Prince of Joy preoccupied while you, Kanar, are going to slip into the research facility and cripple it from within. And she's gonna be you're gonna be employing other factions to basically like cause some chaos and make sure like in the other test sites that things are a bit crippled there. And yeah, this all kind of hinges on Lyra being able to preoccupy the Prince of Joy. And I think Captain Chance kind of says like, I know it must have been hard to come here and voice suspicions over a comrade, over someone who you've worked with for a while. And quite frankly, I'm loath to just write off Lyra as a security risk. I'm willing to give her a chance because I've seen her and I know that she's dedicated to this cause, and she would be the first to try and rid herself of this affliction, so to speak. So I'm giving her one more chance. If we can pull this off, we will cripple the Prince of Joy's operations and strike a blow to the Princess of Palladium. But this can only work if you put your trust on Lyra Harker. Is that understood?
I understand, Captain.
I think there's an air of dismissal unless you want to say something else.
I think I've said what I need to say, and so I do. With with all the certainty that's overtaking me and my paths towards Lyra, there's still some sliver of hope that I have for Lyra, and I believe that she will try her hardest to overcome Nyarl, though I'm still quite uncertain of whether or not she could pull it off, no matter how hard she tries.
It's her entire influence. So I think before you leave, Captain Chance kind of, as they're looking back at their map, kind of says, Kanar, will you pass on my appreciation to your chief? I'm aware that you and your tribe probably could have ridden this war out and keeping to yourselves, but putting yourself in the front line here, well, in the thick of battle, that means a lot.
I'm sure we will appreciate it, Captain. And yes, our survival is dependent on the cause itself. So the better the cause is, for the higher chance of our people's survival. So it is our honor to fight among you.
He gives a sad smile and says, well, then I hope the cause will not let your tribe down. And then she looks back at her map.
For the cause.
All right, so Lyra, what was the question you asked?
So Lyra, I was looking through Kangren's, what I have left of Kangren's research, books, scrolls, that sort of thing, for either some idea of how to get rid of Nyarl, or maybe some idea of why was it why not let the princes of Pristine have it, because they're against, they're all about order. Why would they want them to get rid of it?
Well, what you get from your notes is that it's not so much they are about order. They don't like this chaotic magic, but to them, according to at least the Kangren's notes, like Nyarl isn't some greater entity that represents the force of chaos. To them, Nyarl is just a power source. He's just another form of magic that they can subsume into their own. They kind of see him as almost like a battery source for their Astirs, another form of energy to be tamed. Then Kangren's notes make it clear that the princes of Palladium, they don't respect magic. They only ever see it as fuel for their conquest. They don't respect that Nyarl, for all his malice, for all his whimsy, is someone who thinks, who has agency. To the princes, Nyarl is an aberration. It's just a quirk of magic, of his specific form of magic. And that's why Kangren basically entrusted the keeping of the shard to yourself, because you're having trouble now, but if Nyarl falls hands of the princes, well, it's another arrow to their quill. It's another thing they can twist into their idea of magic, their idea of power. That's why it's important to keep it away. And I think that probably, because you're kind of going through your old mentor's notes, it probably counts as rolling against your gravity with your mentor. So bump that up by 1. And I think you're called to Captain Chance as well. And I think she lays out the plan. She plays you the Prince of Joy's recording, and she lays out the plan, which is you're going to meet the Prince of Joy at the Ashen Gorge. The Twilight Spark will be nearby, but they won't. There's a designated airspace that they can't cross, and you will be there to keep. You're basically going to be there to. You're going to try and keep his attention on you for as long as possible, whether that's through talking or taunting, and he even said, and Captain Chance even says like the Prince of Joy. If you can string one onto an entire philosophical debate, that's fine. Just need you to buy Kanar time. And I think she says, yeah, Kanar's name. And I think Captain Chan says, I understand that this is a lot I'm asking of you. But the cause asks a lot from all of us. And we have no choice but to stand up and deliver.
You want me to go and meet the prince and bring the thing that Cancran expressly told me not to let anywhere near them.
Oh no, I did not mean to give it to him wholeheartedly. I merely say that whatever it is, I'm going to ask that you keep him there at the gorge for as long as possible. Whether that is through talking to him or fighting with him, I'm sure your patron would appreciate not being a trinket in the Palladium's armory, and I'm sure he'll support you wholeheartedly.
Yes, I'm sure. All right. and she does like whatever the cause salute is, and says for the cause, but it's clear that she's not 100% okay with this.
Yeah, I think Captain Chance just grimly salutes back. Yeah, and I think there's a bit more planning probably later on. You think you're kind of coming alone, but then I think the two of you are brought back to a bigger briefing, and you see like actually there is like a designated space in the Ashen Gorge where it is just going to be the two of you, but but the cause is not taking any chances. The Prince of Joy could have like a backup team somewhere nearby, so it's not like you're going to come in alone. Lyra, but you're in the gorge itself. It's just going to be the two of you. And
okay, and I am not looking at them. I'm not acknowledging their presence at all.
All right. Meanwhile, Kanar, for like your mission, you're meant to infiltrate it, but B plot says that you can take one or two named director, one or two director characters with you. We don't have many NPCs, except for Arya Kingdom, and she totally would volunteer.
I would totally take her.
Yeah, and I think I think she volunteers because she told you on the way, like she's still a soldier in the cause, though a very important person outside of this cause, but still a soldier. And she kind of like, I think she's almost kind of like not relieved, but less annoyed than she would have been if she had been part of supporting Lyra.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, this woman to be holding a weapon of mass destruction in her castle, so have fun hanging out with her.
She's a wild card, yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so I think we've got kind of like the contours of our sortie and our B plot out. We've been here for like an hour, so my earphone is falling out. Let's take a break. That's all right, before we launch into anything. Let's say good 10 minutes. Love 10-minute breaks. Go. BRB. All right, welcome back. So, okay. So let's roll lead a sortie. You lead the group into a sortie, decide who planned the mission, and roll. Well, there's only one person here who's going into the sortie because the other person is backing off to do a B plot. So, okay. Faction isn't helping out. In fact, no faction is helping out the B plot. So, you didn't make the plan. Someone else aboard. Yeah, someone else aboard made the plan. You're not heading into danger blind. So, Lyra, roll plus crew. And your crew is a 2. So,
Okay. 9.
9. Okay, all right. On a 79, the crew stumbles, miss something important, is unprepared for what they meet. Okay. Also, before you do that, before we get into it as well, you need to roll your new boons. So roll d6 twice, or just a 2d6. Yeah. And let me link the playbooks, the page for the playbooks again, so you can see what the boons are.
We got a 5 and a 5. So
roll another d6.
5 and a 3.
And a 3. Okay, so you have the Siphoner's boon. When you cause someone to be in peril or take a risk, take +1 forwards. All right, that's for fighting against. Because the way HP works as well is the same for enemies. It's the same for yourselves. It's the risks and danger, the risks stuff, risks and perils or dangers. And you have 3, the masking boon. Mask yourself or an Astir you are tuned to against detection. Ooh, this could be useful, though it is only going to be one person you're up against. Okay, so how is this going to play? Is like this is just going to be cutting back and forth between the two of you all, and I think for Kanar, you don't need to roll to lead a sortie, but it's still going to be kind of like what it was in last time we played, except that you can do stuff to help improve Lyra's situation, and we'll see which is the more precarious situation as the session continues. All right, let's start with you, Lyra. So you're kind of launched off from the Twilight Spark, and you're heading towards this gorge, the Ashen Gorge. Is actually just more like a valley between like these two mountain ranges, but you can tell this place has been burnt to cinders. It's ashen, literally, in the sense that it is just kind of like a ditch full of ash and dust. Something might have been here, maybe a forest or a settlement or something, but no, it's just ash. And when you kind of fly in, you're communicating with Captain Chan still in your communications array, but as soon as you kind of go into a certain distance, the communication stops. It's like you cross through like just an invisible bubble, and suddenly you have no communication to the outside. And then you hear Nyarl say in your ear, "Looks like it's just the two of us." And then you see the shape standing at the gorge. Well, okay, maybe 3 of us. And you see this Astir. It looks bulky and looks like it's made out of. It doesn't look elegant. That's the thing. It's like shards and rust and slabs all stuck together to form the shape of a warrior. Put a picture there in the chat. I'll put it in the character keeper as well. It looks like it's built looks like it's built to kill, and it's holding that giant great arm there on its hand. Blade rested on the ground. In your briefing, you know this as the Prince of Joy's mech, the victory cry. And they're just standing there, as if waiting for you to. What do you do?
I take my Astir down and dismount.
Ooh.
Well, not dismount, but just like the head, like the head portion opens up, and I come out and stand in the shoulders.
Yeah, the head of the victory cry also pops out, and out stands the Prince of Joy. I think I linked a picture of him. He looks like he's past his 30s. He's dressed in. He's not dressed like a pilot. It looks like he's dressed in his military regalia, so like the pauldrons and the medals, and his close cropped brown hair. He looks like he's carved out of granite, as if the war has just burnished him into like this warrior. He doesn't look like anyone who could find joy in anything. He looks dour. He's got bags under his eyes. His beard and hair looks like it's turning to gray. And you can also see like his cockpit looks it's less cramped than yours. What it looks like, it looks kind of stately, palatial. And he gestures to the ground between you, and rather incongruously, there's a table there. A table much like the one Captain Chance had, with like a map and some chairs. And he calls out to you and says, "You don't mind if we have a chat before, how would you say, hostilities can commence?"
Well, I thought that we were here to chat.
Oh, come now, Lyra Harker. You would not be here if the cause hadn't commanded you to be here. And I very much doubt someone who follows in the footsteps of Kangren would hand over Nyarl so willingly. So before I arrest him from wherever you're keeping him, let's chat.
Let's.
All right. So as you're making your way down to the table, let's cut to Kanar and their partner, Arya Kingdom. Which that's gonna be interesting. Okay. So you know what? I think I'm also gonna make you roll for this just because it's easier for me to figure out where you're standing. Engagement rolls from blades are actually quite good for this sort of thing.
Is it a straight roll, or what's the modifier?
Let's see. A faction is technically helping you out because I think I'm gonna make the Wayfinders count for this because they found this place. They helped you find this place. So roll their gravity, which is a +1.
+1. Okay.
Yeah, and you add another to that gravity clock since you're rolling against that gravity clock. So +1.
11.
Hey. So on a 10 plus, you make it to the action unscathed. So I'm gonna say right now, this facility is it's underground. I think you had to go to this like blasted city slum, and Arya's trying her best not to like, oh my god, I got mud all over my boots. As you're kind of leading her, but like this facility is kind of underground. So you tell me how Kanar gets through, at least inside the facility. It's underground, underneath like some blasted city slums.
Okay, so I think Um, I think they go over through like few of the major landmarks within the city, so like maybe there's like a blasted town hall and then like a blasted like place of worship, and would find like there's any like cellars or entry to or like trapdoors and all that. But I think actually the entryway into the facility is um, in one of the big mausoleum in the graveyard. And that's how they found the entrance. And there, yeah. So yeah, I don't think there was a lot of like people around, or there wasn't a lot of resistance or anything that would hinder them to go under.
Okay. All right. And I think as you're kind of going through the mausoleum and you're going down the crypts and whatnot, and you can see like slowly but surely you're coming across some tunnels that were dug out.
Mhm.
Arya's kind of like, how do you pick up these skills? They're so wonderfully provincial.
It's like, um, of course, because I am a wayfinder, and wayfinders know how to find their ways.
Never would have guessed that. Never. Not at all.
Um, so yeah, I go underground, and what do I find?
Ooh. As you kind of go through the tunnels, you find you come out to kind of like a cave, and you'll see you're kind of like you're overlooking this gigantic cavern,
Mm-hmm.
and you see um you know how you saw one mech, that glass beautiful art deco mech. Well, you see like five of them now, kind of like lined
Okay.
up. You're looking down on them. You're kind of like on an overlook, and you can see like there's ladders and there's ways down towards there. But you see like, yeah, five mechs. There's a lot of people milling about. There's like some huts constructed on the far end past the mechs, and there is like a lot of activity. And there's some soldiers wandering around, but they haven't seen you yet, you and Arya. And 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 Arya's kind of like, huh. Well, Wayfinder, you found what you're looking for. What now?
I suspect that there's some sort of machine um, that produces the magic um, in which it is. Um,
Right. Well, then why don't you go find this machine then, and I'll root through their intelligence and see what they're having. Oh, almost forgot. And you notice that she has this armlet on this like just like nice gold band, and she goes through her pockets and pulls out another armlet and says, "Right, wear this.
what is this?
It's a. I'm hoping not to have to use it here, but this will protect you from the effects."
The effects of.
And she kind of gestures to a bracelet she has, this kind of like almost bulky bracelet with like a bunch of clockwork wires and buttons around it, and she says, "Can you believe we actually figured out how to miniaturize this? And don't pretend you don't know. I saw the look in your eyes."
Kanar look shocked, and their eyes widen. This is not the Heartrender, is it?
"This is a weapon of last resort. You wouldn't want the two of us to be caught here, do you?"
Oh God, Lyra. I mean, Arya. Like, This is really dangerous. I don't feel comfortable wearing this, and might as well. But I'm gonna try my hardest for you to, so you don't have to use this weapon.
Good. Think of it as motivation then. And she clamps the armlet on your on your arm.
All right.
Okay, so I think you two are splitting off.
Splitting off. So yeah, I think that's what Kanar is trying to look for, some sort of like a main machine somewhere. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to read the room.
Yeah, exactly. Read the room. So remember, you have 3 hold that you can use to help out Lyra when we get back to see what's happening there. But yeah, read the room. Roll plus 6.
Plus 6. All right. Ooh, what is my sense? I rolled an 11. My sense is 2, so 13.
Jesus. Yeah, so you hold 3 and you can use those different from the other hold that the other 3 hold that you're holding. You can use the read the room hold to ask any of the following questions.
I think I'm gonna ask, the first question is, what is being overlooked here?
What's kind of being overlooked is well, for one thing, the security is quite lax if the two of you manage to waltz your way in there. So technically, you're being overlooked. But I think what's kind of being overlooked is that much of the security is around the mechs themselves. And what they're actually overlooking is, because the people here, there's lots of need to know stuff. And you'll notice that, like, there's a lot of people having to go through like channels or whatnot. And what you notice that there's a lot of security on the mechs themselves, but what you do know from your kind of your briefing is the important part are the batteries, not the mechs themselves. You can make another mech, but the batteries, they're hard to make. And the batteries that are being made here are like kind of like they're the ones that are going to be based off what mass production is going to be like. So they're overlooking the batteries, and those are kind of like what you're looking for. And you'll notice like there is like in one of the huts on the far end, that's where they're kind of stashing the batteries.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what.
Okay. And there isn't like some sort of at least visibly there isn't like people manufacturing the batteries themselves. There's just batteries stored in the
yeah. It's like there aren't that many batteries, and they're all kind of stored here. The main testing is happening on the mechs themselves.
Okay. All right.
So you don't have to ask another question now. We can.
Sure.
Yeah. Sorry. Unless you have anyone to do, let's jump back to Lara. That's all right.
You can jump back to Lyra.
Okay, so Lara, you're sitting on this table around this ashen wasteland, and the Prince of Joy is pouring you a goblet of wine and says, "Do you drink?" Oh, don't worry. Oh, don't worry. It's quite unpoisoned. And he drinks straight from the bottle.
Under normal circumstances, no, but I've had a bad day. And I hear this, so it helps. No. Ugh.
As expected. No one ever likes this vintage but me. Even the Prince of Sorrow is like who has no taste whatsoever. Even they don't appreciate. I was hoping you would. I mean, certainly Kangren appreciated this vintage, but
Prince of Sorrow, huh? Can't if you're supposed to be the Prince of Joy, I'd hate to meet him.
You misunderstand our titles. We are not We are not. Our titles are not what we give, it is what we take. The Prince of Sorrow is so called because he takes away sorrow from the bosom of Palladium. He makes sure he brings us victory, while I take joy from its enemies. And he gestures around the place you're at. The ashes, the dust.
Do I know what happened to this area at all?
No. I don't think so.
So this is your handiwork then, or did you just pick it because it speaks to your heart or whatever?
Both, actually. Yes, this is my
Mm.
handiwork, and yes, this speaks to what I do, which is to remove the possibility of joy from the enemies of Palladium. It's a grim task, to be sure, but I learned to take, well, little moments of happiness where I can. Takes another sip from the bottle. Happiness that's been denied from you recently, Lyra Harker, I assume. That bad day of yours.
Contractual obligations. You know how it is.
Now tell me truthfully, Lyra Harker, is this a contract you want out?
I'd be lying if I said no.
But you would not want to give this contract to me, do you?
Sorry, that she's been lying if I said yeah, but I said the right.
Oh.
Sorry, what was the question?
The question is this a contract you want out of?
Yeah. So she says, well, I'd be lying if I said no.
Well, then let's talk about other things besides your contract. Your cause. Surely there are other places you could have gone to, other factions could have helped you out. In fact, I don't see how your cause would see you as anything more than someone very useful. They can point at someone like me.
That's your problem. You only see people, magic, whatever, as tools to further your whatever your do you even have a cause other than like just causing, taking joy from others?
The joy is not the end, but taking joy is not the end, Lyra, but the means. It is all to serve Palladium. It is all to bring about safety. That's our cause. Safety under the flag of Palladium. Safety from magic such as yours. Magic such as chaos. After all, do you not see how you are so plagued by your contract?
And
Would you rather?
What
Okay.
what 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 is it you're offering exactly? What is?
I'm offering you the chance to have no more bad days.
And how are you going to do that?
Well, we have our means. But rest assured, at the end of it, you will remain Lyra Harker, free from your demonic patron.
And you're gonna do what? Put him in a mystical prison that's where everybody will be safe from him. Oh no, wait, that's not what you do to the magics that you confiscate, is it?
Well, go on then, since you're so smart, Lyra Harker. Tell me, what is it that we do to magic such as yours?
You want to use it as a resource to strengthen your own ideal of magic.
How else will we guarantee safety under our flags?
See, you're all about order, right? I got that much. You guys are supposed to be about order, right?
He kind of raises an eyebrow. Doesn't say anything. He's just looking at you as if daring you to keep going. Go on, keep going.
He's the antithesis of that. You can't use him.
Ooh. I think this is an exchange blows. Because you can roll plus talk with exchange blows, which is the fun thing about that move.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah.
Plus
Sorry.
talk.
You're getting. Oh, what's happened?
It's a 4.
You know what? Your patron is going to use his influence on you, and one of the things he can do is he can. Oh wait, no, hold on. Did I read that right? Hold on. Let me see. Oh, you can request help from your patron. With this, you have to roll plus channel. You're going to give him an extra influence. And what you can do with that is you can exchange blows whilst on foot with plus channel. If you want to try that out.
Actually, can I spend my hold?
Oh, yes. Actually, yeah. That's one of your B plot holds is to improve a result of 6 minus to a 7 to 9. Okay, cool. But that will mean complicating things for yourself there, Kanar. Cool. All right. So you're now at 7 on a 7 to 9 on exchange blows. Both of you and your target are forced to take a risk. And I think so. I mean, don't worry. That means the so you have one more risk there for the victory cry. That's good. It's good to have that. But that means you're going to take a risk, and I think the risk is. I really just want to make this a Monster Hearts condition impertinent. There we go. Or snippy, being snippy. That's the tenor of the risk anyway. And I think, well, I kind of like your outburst. Yeah. The Prince of Joy raises an eyebrow and just says, I think you underestimate what we can do, or what we will do to bend power to our will. And he stands up, drains the bottle, puts it down on the table, and says, very well then, Lyra Harker. Show me the power of chaos. And he walks back. Now, do you have anything else to say before he walks away from you?
So I want to have. Can I? I kind of want to twist the way the what is it? I've lost the boon, masking boon. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to twist the way the masking boon works, so that
Mhm.
like I kind of retroactively, like I was always still in my mech.
Oh, like an illusion. Okay, all right. Roll plus channel. See if it works out. Reminder, yeah.
I'm at +3. Yep.
Yes, plus 3.
I only rolled one of those dice there, so I'll roll that 4. So that's 6 + 3, 9.
All right, on a 7 to 9 with the masking boon. Let's see. Okay. Choose one of those 3, and then we will play. We'll play along.
Your masking fades if you move quickly or act vigorously.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right. So, what do you do then?
So my Astir, the heart of Nyarl, just as the prince is walking away, I want to fire at his Astir before he can get into it.
Ooh. Okay. All right. That's one more roll, and then we'll jump back to Kanar. This sounds like another exchanging blows. He's not quite defenseless that you can't strike decisively.
So I'm rolling plus channel again.
Not this clash.
Clash, yeah, okay. Reroll. Ooh.
Ooh. All right. Let's cut back to Kanar. So Kanar, you're making your way downtown. Sorry, I'm sorry. So where are you heading off towards? Yeah.
I think I'm gonna take a closer look at the hut with the batteries in it.
Okay. All right. So I think to get there,
I
obviously.
have a move that I can use Gorilla when you attempt to evade detection or sneak past others.
Yeah, go ahead.
Plus no. Seven.
Nice.
Where's my what my no?
You know, is a 1.
There's a 6.
Wait, 6?
Because I rolled a 5.
Oh, okay.
And that was plus 1, so it's 6.
Okay. So tell me, like, how are you trying to, like, you're just gonna try to sneak past around the mess?
Yeah. So I'm picturing Kanar just staying really close to the wall and like where in the cave is the hut? Is it in the middle of it? Is it towards
It's
the
kind of in
back?
the back. It's in the back. You have to get past like the 5 mechs that are just standing in a line, basically.
In between the entrance of the cave and the hut.
Yes.
So I think what Kanar is doing is kind of walking along the side of the wall, so they don't really go through the middle of the cave, just on the back to the wall slowly, tippy toes.
Okay.
Maybe you see like a montage of.
I think what's gonna happen is you feel that feeling of magic in the air again, and your limbs just feeling lethargic. I think that's the risk you're gonna take. Lethargic.
Okay.
And as you're kind of walking through the wall, suddenly you see one of the mechs, their heads tilt up. I think it's the one right in the middle of the five mechs. The one in the middle tilts up, as if like and then starts kind of scanning around, as if trying to detect your location. I'm gonna ask for a weather the storm roll.
Okay. And what's the modifier for that?
Since it's either defy to dodge, tough it out, or strong arm your way through, or no to make it through with quick thinking, or the ace up your sleeve.
Okay. Let's see what let's get that. I think. Okay. Can I weather the storm by like causing some sort of like noise and the opposite of me, so it'll attract the Astir to look the other way.
Mm-hmm. Do Wayfinders learn how to throw their voices as well?
Right, because it's a cave, so I'm figuring if it's a cave, then like this like noise and sound moves differently, like acts differently, so I can probably make some sort of like echo that would make an illusion that's coming from somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So that's with quick thinking, you'd say?
Yeah, so no.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
I rolled a 9 plus my no is 1.
Ooh.
So
Nice. All right. So I think your ruse works, and the Astir kind of their gaze kind of goes up there and starts kind of scanning around there, and you kind of hear voices going, "Oh, what? You detecting something there?" And the Astir kind of raises a hand, kind of points around, away from you anyway, and you can kind of sneak past. While you're kind of sneaking, you can see the hut with the batteries is next to you, but there's like two more huts. Just kind of nearer to the mechs, and you can kind of see Arya slipping through a window and flashes you a thumbs up.
okay.
Yeah. But I think yeah, you pulled a B plot move, so you need to complicate things. Need to be complicated. You hear suddenly like a commandant. It might be the same commandant you met at, or at least the one you humiliated in the previous session. Kind of going, all right, the Prince of Joy's target has just pulled off a craven hit while our prince's back was turned. Let's get these mechs going. She's broken. She's broken like she's broken the compact, and we're gonna have to support our prince. So get these mechs going, and things just get a bit busier, and you see like two soldiers going their way towards the hut to grab batteries for the mechs.
Okay. So they're inside the hut.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to. So I go to front of the door of the hut and close it, and I'm probably trying to like trap them inside, using my trap. I think I have some sort of trap situation. Traps
Yeah.
in
So you're not inside the hut itself. You're just closing
I'm
the
not.
door.
Yeah, I'm closing the door so both of the soldiers wouldn't be able to get out.
Right. Okay. Well, yeah. This says here with your gear with traps and nets, you can always set up a defense given time. I think you've got some time. For now. Let's see. I don't think there's a rule for that specifically. I think Yeah, you're fine for now.
Okay.
I think.
All right.
So kind of like, what's your next move? You've trapped the soldiers there, but you were meant to be there anyway to destroy the batteries. So.
Right. So I trapped the soldiers there. And I think I'm going to I'm gonna try to climb up one of the mechs.
Ooh, interesting. All right. I think this is. You're still attempting to evade detection, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Seems like it. So let's roll your gorilla move again. Let's roll plus no.
Ooh, that's not a very good roll. My no. 4. Roll the 4. That's a 4.
Oh, gee. Oh, dear. Yeah. I think the moment you kind of like you try to climb a mech, suddenly you hear guns cocking behind you, and there's two. If you look around, there's two soldiers cocking like these like weird flintlock like guns, and a third person who's wearing like this. Hold on, let me see. What are they wearing? Sorry, I'm just looking at my Pinterest board here. This kind of like. Oh no, you saw kind of like this pilot's outfit. It's the same as the one the Sable Scythe is wearing, but this person kind of like has long like blonde hair and is pointing a pistol at you. And this woman is like, "I'm sorry, I don't think you're qualified to ride this mech. Would you kindly get off?" We'll cut from you there.
How tall are the Astirs?
They are about as tall as a 3-story house.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I have to look outside as well. It's like, okay, maybe that tall.
Then I slowly come down and follow the directions. And while I'm doing that, I I whistle to give Arya like a signal. As I'm kind of like raising my hand, because I don't think I can really do anything.
That's fine. Let's cut away from you for a moment. Let's cut back to Lyra. So your clash rolled not well, but here's what happens. Hold on. Actually, I need to reread this roll. Okay. So I might have read this wrong. Oh wait, no. I think what's gonna happen is you shoot at the retreating Prince of Joy, only to find that their form dissipates as well.
Just to be clear, I wasn't shooting at the Prince of Joy. I was shooting at his Astir.
Oh, that is Astir. Oh, so what? So that Astir dissipates as well. Turns out that entire Astir was an illusion, and you see to your left the victory cry, great sword raised, just moving to smash against you. You have to weather the storm, I think.
Okay. That's plus
Defy, I think.
Defy. Okay.
So remember, since you're a witch, you can weave magic to do something taxing with your power. But for now, weather the storm.
I got an 8.
An 8. So on 7 to 9, you succeed up at some cost. Your director will ask you to settle for less, take a risk, or make a difficult choice. I think what's gonna happen is, because it's so sudden and you kind of pull the same attack on each other, you can dodge just in time, but I think your Astir is gonna take overheating. And also, as a reminder, you have the special move subsystems where you can spend mana to replace one of your dice, with one of your Astir stats, which they're all at 4 at the moment. So that's something you might want to think about as we get into this fight. But for now, you're going to take overheating. So yeah, you just barely dodge the Victory Cry's great sword, and you hear the Prince of Joy's voice call out, saying, "I shouldn't be surprised, Lyra. We both learned from the same master, after all."
I think so. Lyra just turns and opens fire with I can't remember what it's called, the burst caster.
Yeah, range blast, messy, bane, which is good. Because the Victory Cry is a tier above you, and you need bane to attack things that are tier above you. That's what that tag means. All right, so you're just gonna straight up shoot them. You're not even gonna like. Okay, so that's a clash.
I just sort of yell, "Liar!"
Okay. All right. So yeah, that's exchanging blows. Roll plus clash.
Okay. I don't see the subsystems move that you're talking about.
It's in downtime / special moves.
Okay.
All right.
So D6 result with
yeah.
Okay.
So just you can replace one of the dice results that you get.
Okay.
One of your S tier stats.
So where's clash?
Yes.
Okay, so that's an 8. I will. You know what? I think I will use that ability to spend mana to replace that. Replace which one? The 3 with a. No.
Dang it. Yeah, you know what? Do that.
It's not gonna matter.
Do that and no,
It's
do
not
that and do that, and I'll help out as well. I have a thing to help out.
Okay.
So yeah, spend 1 mana. So mana's down to 1. Replace the 3 with a 4, and what's happening is, as you're kind of firing, you feel that feeling of fire in your veins again. But this time it's more like it's coursing towards you and pouring into the magic you're channeling into the Astir, into the shots that you're firing. And your patron is spending an influence to help. Succeeding to that, roll the 10+. So he's adding a +1 to your roll. So if you change the 3 to a 4, you get a 9. He adds a +1, you get a 10. And so, and you kind of hear Nyarl's voice snarling like, "I would rather be stuck with some stripling whelp like you than be under their microscope and be fuel for their war machine. Do you get that, Lyra Harker?"
Oh, that's something we agree on.
May we find other things to agree on in the future as you're shooting. All right, so Ooh, you also have the Cipherner's Boon. When you cause someone to be in peril or take a risk, you're going to take +1 forward because on a 10 plus on exchange blows, either your opponent takes a risk or you take a risk and put your opponent in peril.
I'm gonna take a risk and put him in peril.
Ooh, that puts you up to 3 dangers though. Do you want to do that?
Yeah. It's last session. Why not?
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So, all right. Let me see how much. Okay. All right. Ooh, I need to recheck something about being defenseless. Okay, he is. Yeah. So your shots kind of hit with precision, and he tries to block with his sword, but you can see because they're chaos infused, they're smashing through bits of the sword, so they're actually taking out chunks. And you can see like as your barrage kind of stills, his mech is smoking, as if he didn't expect to take all that. And yeah, let's cut away from you to Kanar, who is being led towards.
What risk did I take again?
Oh yeah, shit. What risk? What risk? You were gonna take the risk overextended. If I'm correct, there are ways to take off risks in the middle of battle.
I think we said that there was a move that you can roll to do that, but
Yes, there is cool off. When you take a moment in safety to cool off, or help someone else do the same. I don't know if you're in a moment of safety right now. We'll see. All right. Let's cut away from you to Kanar. If that's okay.
Okay.
All right. So Kanar, your they've not trussed up your hands, but I'm assuming your hands are up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you made a signal to Arya. What are you hoping she would do?
I don't know. Help me. Just try to make an opening for me to act because I don't think I could really do anything.
Okay. That's gonna be. I think that's gonna be a bit of a roll because I don't know if she knows what you're trying to signal. As they're kind of leading you towards like a holding room.
Uh-huh.
Why don't you roll? Oh, sorry. Say it again.
Oh, I was just gonna. I was saying, what kind of role would that be?
I think this is another weather the storm. You're in the middle of. You're trying to, and this is a no, because you're trying to like signal to someone to save your ass.
All right. 7. Ooh.
All right. You succeed at some cost. Your director will ask you to sell for less, take a risk, or make a difficult choice. Okay. You know what? I think this is fairly simple. You're gonna settle for less. So what's gonna happen is, as you're kind of being led away, you hear 2 thunks as kind of like you see you kind of feel like the soldiers behind you they get knocked out, but then you hear a scuffle, and if you turn around, you see that the pilot that that had a pistol has managed to like grapple Arya and is pointing a pistol into her head, and is now saying, "Now I know what you people in the cause are like. You're all weak at heart. So you better stand down, or else your pretty little companion here is gonna have her pretty little brains blown out, also prettily around you." And Arya's rolling her eyes and just, "Oh my god, I'd almost want you to do that so I don't have to listen to you." What do you do, Kanar?
Wait, so Arya is also in the holding room with me?
You're kind of inside the holding room, and on the outside is the 2 soldiers knocked out and the pilot holding a gun to Arya's head.
Okay. I think I'm not in any way in a bond or anything, right? My hands aren't tied or anything.
No, your hands are free.
Oh, that was stupid of them.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna stab that pilot from the back then.
Wow. Okay. Let's okay. Just straight up stab him, all right? Okay. That sounds like you're
Decisively.
exchanging. Hmm?
Oh, we're exchanging. Okay.
What else would what yeah, you can't really strike decisively unless they're defenseless, which is a tag.
Okay.
I should have
Oh, which is a
italicized.
tag. Gotcha.
Yeah, that is a
All right.
specific tag.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah.
We clash, right?
Yeah, you clash. Unless you throw a quip at them too, which is that'll be talk.
I don't think that's the case. Okay. My clash is +1.
Yeah, you're better off than talking.
13. Yeah.
Jesus. Okay.
Look at me.
All right. So on a 10 plus, either your opponent takes a risk or you take a risk and put your opponent in peril.
What other risks do I have?
You have one
I'm
risk.
a little lethargic. And so what's the other one? I'll take your opponent in peril. Yeah, let's put him in peril and I'll take a risk, whatever it is. So
All right. So I think kind of like as you move to stab him, and I think your stab rings true. You catch them somewhere. Yeah, you catch them at somewhere like, ugh, and I think as you stab him, Arya just knees them in the gut, and I think yeah, you can see like blood already like pooling coming out of their body as the pilot kind of falls to the ground in pain, but manages in the commotion to fire a shot, and the entire cavern hears that shot. And you're gonna take the risk surrounded as you hear commotion going around, and the pilot you managed to wound is too wounded to kind of like do anything. They're writhing in the ground in a pool of their blood, but they're kind of like, you're not getting out of here, the two of you, so you better just say your prayers, whatever fucking cause you work for, because we're gonna string you up and quarter you all. And Arya's like, can I kill this one because she's getting annoying?
I was like, go ahead.
All right. And she kind of like casually walks over their head and just twists their neck with her feet. And then she's kind of like, all right, did you get to the batteries?
Oh, not quite yet. I was gonna, but it's no one's getting in or out because I locked it from outside. So
well, they're gonna. You don't think they can get through a wayfinder trap? Are you people that arrogant?
Well, here's the thing. I think it's important for us to figure out an escape, and that escape, I think, is going to be one of the Astirs. And with that Astir, we can destroy this whole place, including the batteries.
She looks at you and says like, pilot an Astir, because these are the ones that can be piloted by non-channelers.
Yeah. Wait. So she doesn't know about.
Oh, she knows. I think she just the idea of piloting an Astir when you're not a channeler is weird. So it did take a while for like, all right, well, you're gonna need a distraction. We're gonna need a distraction, right? Before you can say anything, she pushes something on a clockwork wrist. No, it's not the heart render. No, what happens is the intelligence hut explodes, and you can see like a bunch of other huts exploding. And she looks at you like, "What? This thing is very useful. It does a lot of things.
Kanara says, "Well, look at you, being all useful and all."
Well, look at you, sir, getting caught and having to be saved by the Queen of Zenobia. This is a story you will be dining on with your grandchildren for generations to come.
Fair enough. We don't have that much time to jibber jabber. Let's take control of the nearest Astir and let's get the fuck out of here.
All right, so, I think our distraction's enough to like get you to one, but I don't think it'll be as simple as just getting on. I think I'm trying to figure out like what sort of like role or anything has to be done.
I think here's what Kanar is going to do. I think Kanar is going to hold off people from getting onto the S tier and have just Arya go up while Kanar's like shooting people with their bow and arrow.
So I think because it's a big cave, you have room to be acrobatic.
All right. And that is
the clash.
Okay. Clash is 1.
Oh.
8.
All right, so you can hold 1. Which one of those? As you're kind of like firing off bows. Oh, it would be amazing. You're firing off bows. Yeah, you're firing off arrows and defending Arya.
I'll get to somewhere or something before others can. So I'll just have Arya and Kanar just get to the top of the Astir before everyone else gets close to it.
All right. Okay. So describe to me then, because I think how you destroy this facility as everything's in chaos, things exploding. Go on.
So you see the Astir just kind of move forward and kind of like knocks the Astir in front of it, like to create like some like a domino effect, and then like have the Astir fall into one another. And if it's possible, we would also grab a couple of batteries from if there's any lying around or inside the Astir on their way out. And then just kind of like, I don't know if the Astir has some sort of bomb that'll just drop into the middle of the cavern and just kind of demolish everything.
Yeah, because I think we're nearing. No, we're not nearing to time, but I always felt like we shouldn't go the full 3 hours if it's just 2 people. Sure. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna let that all kind of happen, and think how it's gonna affect like Lyra is, if you want, the next time she rolls a -6 because you've taken apart this facility and Arya's got the intel, the next time Lyra rolls a -6, it's automatically gonna go to a 7 to 9. That's right. So like, yeah, so you're in this mech, you've destroyed it, you've grabbed the batteries, and as you're kind of zooming out, Arya's controlling this bit punch drunkly. She's kind of like, oh my god, we're piloting an Astir, and she's actually like, she's smiling like a child. It's ridiculous. And she's kind of like, oh my god, we're piloting an Astir. I never thought I'd be able to do that.
It's like, yeah, me neither, but yeah, let's get this thing out of here and hold on to your obsession. Let's get back to. Actually, can we help? Can we go over to Lyra and help her, or is that too risky?
Let's see how Lyra's doing.
So I'm rolling. I think I'm rolling to not die right now.
Oh yeah, you're defenseless. You're gonna have to roll bite the dust.
Okay.
Roll nothing since you're defenseless. Defenseless is when you have 3 dangers.
Okay. So that's a natural 3.
Wow. Right. Oh my god. Yeah, even if you know what, you still have 1 mana. We can do the same thing we did with the clash, because Nyarl still has 2 more influence on you. We can get it up to a 7, I think. Wait, hold on. Let's see. You replace the 1 with a 4, and you get 6.
Well,
and then wait, no, because it's not. Oh yeah, okay, I see. Yeah,
help or hinder you succeeding as if they had rolled a 10 plus.
yeah. So you get a +1.
Okay.
So you get up to a 7.
All right. And then what's a 7 to 9 result in that table? Just
retreat from the sortie or be put in peril. So one of your risks is gonna turn into a peril. The nice thing is,
I think I'll spend the mana.
Yeah. Yeah, let's spend the mana, and yeah, you're gonna be put in peril. The nice thing is, because this is the last session, it doesn't matter if you don't get rid of the peril or not in the future. So I think what this looks like is that as soon as your barrage hits, you can see, like, yeah, there's smoking, but this thing is fast, and instead of hitting you with a great sword, I think the Prince of Joy is frustrated enough, it's just gonna punch your mech in the head, and you can hear the Prince of Joy going, of course, you have the power of chaos. That's the only reason a whelp like you can stand up to a prince like me. What are you, Lyra, without Nyarl, without Kangren, without any of your boons?
So I'm clearing overextended because I get to clear a risk. 10 plus, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I have my principles.
Well, the nice thing with principles, Lyra, is that they're completely useless in war, because I'm going to kill you and your principles will do nothing for you. Is that all you have?
Oh no. I have him.
And I think this is your cue, Kanar.
Actually, no. Because
no?
I was referring to Nyarl.
Oh, all right. Well, the thing is, I think, oh man, that would have been the moment. That would have been the moment. But never mind. Okay, all right. Okay. Oh, that's a shame.
This is Lyra. This is not happy Lyra. This is going dark side.
Well, I think the prince, for the first time, because you hear him laugh, and he's just, you won't have him for long. And he, again, readies his great sword to just zoom in and hit you. It's just, it's not like, it's I think you're gonna weather the storm here, because let me think. What are you doing as he readies to strike at you?
I want to strike back, like, blast, like two blasts going at each other.
Ooh, all right. So this is an exchange blows, definitely. And you're gonna take a +1 forward because you have Siphoner's boon when you cause someone to be in peril. And the victory cry is in peril. Yeah, so yeah, you're gonna take +1 forward to this exchange blows with clash. Would you kindly?
That's a 7. Yeah, it's a 7.
Okay. All right. So on a 7 to 9, boop, on a 7 to 9, both you and your target are forced to take a risk. So you're gonna take the risk, depleted, because you think the strain of using all that magic to fire is getting to you. So you're gonna take a risk. But here's the fun part. He's also gonna take a risk, and I think you can see he's also exerted. His mech is smoking. Yours is as well because it's overheated. You've chipped away his greatsword quite a bit more as you two kind of clash indecisively, and you kind of draw back, and you can see that he is defenseless. Is this Kanar's cue to jump in, or Kanar? Do you think you're gonna leave this to Lyra?
I'm gonna leave this to Lyra unless it turns sour.
All right. So I think, yeah, he is defenseless. But since you're defenseless as well, you are gonna have roll again to bite the dust.
Well, I guess if Lyra is defenseless, then I guess can I only jump in then? Because I thought.
Yeah, because Lyra took on another risk again.
Yeah, it would be a 7 for the. Yeah, it's roll nothing, so it's a 7.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so on the 7, retreat from the sword, you'll be put in peril.
I'll take peril.
Okay, so I think the peril is as you're kind of being depleted, you can feel Nyarl compensating for your depleted magic. That fire in your veins, it feels like it's settling in. And I think the peril you're going to take is flooded with chaos. And I think, yeah, at this moment, Kanar, you can totally jump in because the Prince of Joy is defenseless. And yeah, so you're directing Arya to.
Yeah. So I'm directing Arya, and you can probably see the Astir just flying towards the Ashen Gorge, directly, like aiming directly onto the Prince of Joy. With what sort of weapon do you think the Astir? I'm gonna picture maybe like an axe.
I think, yeah. I think for this one, let's say you know the picture I used for the event, big knight. I think you have a big sword. I think this glass mech is meant to evoke a knight.
Okay.
So you probably have like a big ass sword.
So you see the Astir just trying to deal the last blow from up high, diving into Prince of Joy.
Nice. And I think Prince of Joy just is kind of like he's about to spit something more venomous at Lyra, but then you come in from the sky, glittering in the sun with your glass mech, and he just goes, "What?" in a Darth Vader-esque way. Roll plus clash, because strike decisively still needs a roll.
Okay, clash is 1. 7, 8. Okay.
All right. Okay, so, well, honestly, this is the end, so I don't know if it even matters, actually. I just, I think, yeah, you just come in and you just, okay, describe how this kind of ends. So I think the Prince of Joy dead. I'll just say right now, you've killed him. But describe how it happens.
So you see the Astirs fall from the sky with the blade directed towards the Astir's head, because I assume that's where the cockpit is. And then you say effortlessly, with the weight of the Astir, just go through the head into the ground. And then the Astir kind of just like stands up, leave the blade just standing there through the head into the ground.
Nice.
And I guess Kanar gets out of the cockpit to check in for Lyra.
Yeah. Probably hear behind you, Kanar, Arius babbling like, "Oh, I'll be telling my grandchildren this." Lara, before you kind of like open your cockpit and you see all this happen, this mysterious glass mech save you, and out pops up fucking Kanar, who you know can't pilot a mech, can't pilot a steer, and you hear Nyarl whisper in your voice saying, "Oh, sweet silly Lara, don't you know that you're never really alone? You got your cause, don't you?" Yeah, I think then Kanar checks up on you.
Do I still need to roll for being defenseless?
No, because you've defeated the threat. That's fine. We're beyond that now. Yeah.
I was wondering.
So yeah, what do you two say to each other? Or do you want to?
Well, yeah, I just open the cockpit and say, "Hey, Hitler, are you okay?" And see if she's conscious at all.
I'm conscious, but like you can. Lost me Andrew. He's back.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, I'm conscious, but you see in the cockpit, like, there's all of this sort of, sort of distortion effect going on around the inside of the cockpit. Sort of centered on me, and I'm sort of, like all sorts of weird, sickly colors. Just covering me.
I help you get out of the cockpit. And Kanar says, "We did it. We killed the Prince of Joy. What's happened? Is what's your patron's name again?"
Nyarl.
What have you really fallen to the deep end with Nyarl? Are you okay? Is he still inside your head?
He's still here, but I'm me for now.
Well, all right, comrade. You don't really need a patron as long as you have the cause behind you. And I'm glad you're doing okay. Um, um, let's go back to the ship.
So Lyra goes along with you. She's sort of seems to be sort of shell shocked and sort of blank face. And you're saying comrade, and you're saying you don't need a patron. You've got a cause behind you. She's just hearing Nyarl's words. Silly Lyra, don't you know that you have a cause? Sort of mocking in the back of her mind.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So let's have one last shot of each character before we wrap up. Kind of like as they go on their merry way. Kanar, what do we kind of like? What's kind of like the last we see of them, of you?
I think with the supply of batteries they got from that cave, I think they're learning how to pilot an Astir. So I guess you just see a montage of that glass Astir maybe painted over to match the color of the cause or the color of the wayfinders, to kind of also they just coat that glass finish. But yeah, they're they're piloting an Astir now.
Oh, that's fab. Lyra, how you doing?
I think Lyra is in her quarters, sort of meditating, with just sort of trying to center herself, and there's still like these sparks of sort of sickly colored energy around her. And she's you can sort of hear sort of whispers, and she's just sort of got her eyes closed and is trying very hard to ignore them.
Well, that sucks. Anyway, all right. Yeah, I think that's it. That's it for Armour Astir. Guys, thanks so much. You've been fantastic as always. Thanks for going through this, even though like we spent most of the series with just the two of y'all. It was weird, but I think it worked fairly well. We'll talk about it off broadcast. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed that. Anyone watching, I hope they enjoyed this. Want to check out the gauntlets, gauntlet-rpg.com. Links down below. Want to check out this game. I don't have a tiny URL. I think there is, but check out the writer Briar Sovereign at WereGazelle on Twitter. Where like the werewolf, the gazelle. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna stop the broadcast. Goodbye to y'all.